Welcome back to Stellaris, to the Terran Republic. My name is Bergfinn, and this is indeed the last episode of the series. I'm not going to continue anything during this episode. I'm going to go down some things that we have achieved, some things that we have built, which are, I don't know, for a first really successful Terran Republic campaign. The other two I got pummeled, are actually kind of interesting. As far as the Stellaris campaign, I think this is one of my most successful larger galaxy campaigns that I have done, which is kind of interesting, considering I have turned off the endgame events for this one. It really gave me the chance to actually expand my empire rather than having to focus on a build-up that has to do with an endgame crisis. So, yeah, very interesting. So let's go down some things that we actually have achieved. I've made a list of some things that are kind of interesting to go down to. What is maybe most interesting to know, as you guys know, I was an Imperial, had Distinguished Admiralty, mining guilds, and had environmentalists. In order to push this crazy thing up to what it is. I am currently in instant build mode, so that's why the thing is so crazy, but this is the actual representation of what we are in. I was doing some checking to see if I had everything up to my force limit. I wanted to see if I could hit the 3K, but if I could have potentially hit the 3K, but it's impossible. I have every space station maxed out, so there's no way to actually reach the 3K, which is kind of sad. I was almost there. So that's a thing. My current order is 141 years old. So this is kind of interesting. Yeah, 62 balance income, and the actual income is closer to 4K, which is actually kind of awesome. Decent bonuses we managed to achieve on most of this. The more impressive bonuses are actually based around energy credits, plus 75% based on just the research and some other random stuff. Pretty damn good. Government attraction is pretty damn good. My factions of everything actually is pretty decent. Most of them are decently happy, apart from the two that are just completely against what I am. So it's kind of nice. For population counters, this is kind of interesting. It only lists the human population, and it doesn't actually list anything of the others in that overview. To give you an idea, I have, as you can see, the 591 humanoids, the humans with full citizenship. Then I have 768 slaves across 23 species. Absolutely nuts. And I think there is 2 double in there. Yeah, the Hazar and the Hazar. Both Hazars actually have a slightly different layout than the other ones do, which is okay. Mineral income is always a bit more iffy. I had calculated it at a total of 3,500 mineral income, and 1,600 is left, give or take. So economy-wise, for an empire this big, with a fleet as big, let's not forget that. It's 800, 750, which is 750 corvettes. Let's not forget that. It's not bad. Ship maintenance is decent. It's at a -1,000 and a -875, give or take, which is very, very good. Terraforming, I think most of my actual planets are continental worlds, which is kind of awesome. Managed to get everything into continental mode, which is pretty cool. Time consuming, but cool. I've built a total of 14 habitats and 1 ring world, which the ring world is actually pretty damn cool. It produces a lot of science. Look at that. Oh man. That in combination with the assisted research everywhere, It's nuts when it comes to the research that I'm pumping in. Speaking of research, I almost managed to put everything up to 1,000. We're like 189, 80-ish. We're short on several fronts, which would have been fixed if I actually took my last... if I built a couple more habitats in places that I actually owned, which I could have done. I could have done very easily and pushed it up to 1,000. But, you know, we're reaching a point in the game where I didn't really want to think and focus around min-maxing that part of the game, considering we were, you know, we were looking at the blood host or equivalent technology, so I didn't really have to push that any further than I already had. So, you know, it's kind of nice being at that point where you can just say, alright, focus completely on different things, no longer have to focus on a population, the research points, that sort of stuff, which is kind of nice. Sectors ended up with 12, 17, and 21 planets. Not that matters much, considering they're all nerf stapled. I mean, everything that lives there is nerf stapled. I mean, let's pick a random planet. All nerf stapled. Nothing lived there, which is, you know, that's actually free thinking, which is nice. We finished the entirety of the tradition tree, which is kind of cool. Let's actually have a closer look at the factions, shall we? What are they actually happy about? So the Noble Privilege Vanguard is actually kind of happy about almost everything. Except for this one, but, you know, whatever. Then the business owners, the only thing that really should have maybe been better is if I actually owned more strategic resources. Which could have been something I could have done by, you know, actually going to war. The Democrats are just born unhappy. And speaking of size, the military guys are actually the biggest. Pretty nice. And then the True Gospel, which is kind of meh or secular. They're actually growing. Kind of awful. But overall, I think we did quite well. In that respect. Something interesting, maybe, that I figured out. This is my oldest leader. He's at 208 years old, with the max age currently for all my rulers at 207. That's nuts. 207. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, Jean-Marie Gilbert is going into the history books as the oldest living ruler in the Terran Republic. What did you guys think of this campaign? Is there anything that I could have done differently to maybe get more out of it? I probably should, in reflection, have seen the Polarian Blood Host coming. Because these guys were nuts from like very early on. They ate everything around them until they hit things that they just couldn't eat. I think also what was really good strategy of me in order for when I actually survived is this sort of block against the Polarian Blood Host, that I didn't actually go in too heavily against either one of us, which is kind of nice. Speaking of which though, I was up against over half the galaxy every time I was thinking of expanding. This is one big federation. Then there's this smaller federation, which further encompasses the idea of a block in here. I could have been part of this association agreement, so that actually we formed almost the entire outskirts of the galaxy, which would have been kind of fun. But, you know, actual wars and stuff, I had to expand, or kind of in the way for that, so I didn't do that. Overall, though, I think we did quite well. The game held up pretty damned well, I have to be very honest. Massive fleets are roaming around. The biggest fleet currently out there, and I think it's stationed somewhere around here. And there we go. It's almost 1 million strong. That's a 1,000,000 strong fleet. That's a lot of damn ships. I mean, look at mine, which is also pretty damn big. 750, and then 100 battleships each. Which, you know, it lags the game pretty hard. Taking that all in consideration, I think the game held up pretty nicely. There is a definite improvement over the last year of what the game can actually handle engine-wise, which is pretty damn glorious. So, thank you all for watching the Terran Republic Let's Play. Probably the last one, or maybe not. It's a go-to species of mine to do this kind of stuff with. So, I will see you when I'll see you, probably next week, with a new Let's Play. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.